A destructive blue monster emerges, leaving a trail of devastation. Saitama, a cape-clad bald man, takes it upon himself to confront the situation. He rescues a young girl from the monster, known as Vaccine Man, who boasts of a more intricate backstory than mere heroism for amusement. However, before the villain can finish his self-indulgent monologue, Saitama defeats him effortlessly with a single punch, expressing his frustration at the lack of a challenge. Saitama, now less bald but still unemployed, encounters Creblante, a half-crab man. Ignoring him, Saitama notices a little boy who has drawn nipples on Creblante's shell and decides to save the kid. He swiftly dispatches Creblante by tearing out his eye stalk with a necktie. Following that incident, Saitama dedicates himself to intense training, resulting in his baldness 3 years later. In the present day, Saitama reminisces about a colossal man who disrupted his shopping trip. Apparently, a deranged scientist created a serum to transform this brawny individual into the strongest man alive. Saitama appears on the left shoulder of the colossal man while the mastermind eagerly discusses their plans for world domination. However, upon realizing Saitama's presence, the colossal man orders his brother to eliminate the man on his shoulder, referring to Saitama. It dawns on the bronze-skinned man, and he attempts to remove Saitama from his sight by sending him deep underground. Saitama agrees with the notion that being the strongest man alive leaves a sense of emptiness. The excessive power becomes monotonous, leading Saitama to accidentally demolish B City with a single powerful punch, launching the giant adversary into the air. Saitama realizes that emotions become less necessary when one can solve any problem with a single punch. Upon waking up, he discovers a subterranean invasion, where the Earth dwellers have already claimed the lives of 70% of the population. Saitama feels excited, hoping to find opponents who can reignite his fighting spirit. However, the actual invasion he encounters is quite different from what he had anticipated. City Z is overrun by a massive swarm of mosquitoes, and Saitama struggles to catch even one while tending to his cactus. In the abandoned city, a looter's blood is completely drained by an unknown assailant. A cyborg deduces that the mosquitoes are being controlled by a mosquito woman who has traded her legs for an arm. Saitama rushes down the street, attempting to swat the lone mosquito, but he encounters the cyborg and the swarm surrounding the woman. Despite setting the bugs on fire, the vast amount of blood the mosquito woman consumes leads the cyborg to introspection. After witnessing Saitama's incredible strength, the cyborg, named Genos, expresses a genuine desire to become his disciple. A week later, Genos arrives and introduces himself as Genos, insistent on calling Saitama master and sharing his life story unprompted. Essentially, Genos' hometown was destroyed by a cyborg, prompting him to become a cyborg himself to seek revenge on the culprit. A mysterious figure seeks to capture Saitama for genetic experiments and sends genetically modified creatures after him. Genos learns from an armored gorilla, who is also a cyborg, about the House of Evolution, a cloning lab operated by clones. The facility is run by Dr. Genis, who experiments with artificial evolution and has taken an interest in Saitama's remarkable strength. Upon reaching the House of Evolution, Genos obliterates the entire above-ground complex. One of the clones unleashes Carnage Kabuto, the pinnacle of evolution according to Dr. Genis. Although Genos initially struggles against Carnage Kabuto, when the monster tries to attack Saitama, he retreats in terror of Saitama's overwhelming power and lack of defensive strategy. Before their battle, Saitama reveals the secret to his strength, a daily routine consisting of 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run performed for 3 years or until one's hair falls out. It's just regular strength training, nothing more. Unfortunately for everyone present, that's the extent of Saitama's secret. Carnage Kabuto enters a state of rampage known as Carnage Mode, which will last for a week until the next Saturday. Saitama appears defeated, not even putting up a fight. However, he realizes that today is Saturday and he made a grave mistake, missing discount day at the supermarket, which has severely impacted his wallet. Nonetheless, Saitama and Genos blast a hole through the wall and rush to the store before it closes. Dr. Genis abruptly gives up on his research, while the Hero Association investigates Genos' destructive capabilities. Following a passionate speech about challenging the existing financial system, a terrorist named Hammerhead unintentionally demolishes a building owned by a wealthy and powerful man named Zeniru. Although it was the wrong building, the gesture is appreciated, right? Saitama abruptly awakens from a disturbing dream about rock, paper, scissors and discovers a group of terrorists wreaking havoc. He refuses to tolerate it since they stole his appearance, making every bald man a target. Xanadu doesn't need to search far for assistance and hires an assassin who conveniently arrives to confront Hammerhead and his gang. The assassin effortlessly decapitates the criminals, but Hammerhead manages to escape. However, he soon encounters Saitama in the forest, who dismantles his stolen battle suit. The assassin appears and immediately mistakes Saitama for a terrorist. Saitama feels disheartened that nobody recognizes him, and the hired assassin, Speedo Sound Sonic, introduces himself while quickly darting away. Sonic is surprised that Saitama can block his attacks and promises they will meet again before disappearing. Saitama informs Genos that they have a problem. Nobody knows his true identity, despite his numerous monster victories. To gain recognition, they decide to register as official heroes together, with Genos becoming Saitama's official disciple. However, they face two obstacles, a physical and a written exam. Saitama obliterates all records of the physical portion and destroys much of the equipment, while Genos achieves a perfect score in both sections. They question why a cyborg like Genos had to undergo a physical exam in the first place. Genos is immediately ranked as an S-class hero and celebrates confidently, mistaking the top half of the letter C as an S. Saitama passes the exams by just 1 point, despite obtaining a perfect score in the physical section. They are the only two who successfully pass the hero exams and are assigned to a class taught by Snek in a class hero. Frustrated by their lack of attention, Snek attempts to haze Saitama but ends up embarrassing himself. Genos challenges Saitama to a sparring session, but even when requesting his master to go all out, he remains utterly astonished by Saitama's incomprehensible strength. Genos still cannot fathom that Saitama's basic training regimen is the true secret behind his power, as he operates on an entirely different level. Afterward, they attend a meeting where Class A's top-ranked hero, Sweet Mask, approaches Genos and ominously welcomes him to the big leagues. It has been 5 days since Saitama and Genos became heroes, and Genos casually mentions that Class C heroes have a quota to fulfill, or else they will be removed from the hero registry. Saitama, unaware of this, has no idea what he can teach his disciple. He quickly improvises and recalls something he read in a manga about training the mind, giving Genos the goal of reaching the top 10 in the S-class rankings. Genos spends 2 days running around the city without success. To make matters worse, Sonic shows up, seeking a rematch against his imaginary rival. Sonic becomes frightened when Saitama breaks his sword and threatens him in anger. A woman notices them, and Tank Top Tiger, another C-class hero, approaches. Saitama initially laughs, mistaking Sonic for a criminal, but he becomes even more annoyed when he realizes that nobody recognizes him as a hero. Sonic throws an exploding shuriken at Tank Top Tiger, causing chaos. Saitama realizes he needs to find a real villain but wonders if bringing Sonic in would count towards his quota. Fortunately, Sonic happens to be a hired assassin, unbeknownst to Saitama. Meanwhile, two class heroes, Golden Ball and Spring Mustachio, are dispatched to investigate reports of a monster sighting in City Z. The monster they are investigating encounters them and swiftly defeats Golden Ball. Spring Mustachio calls for backup but is also defeated. Coincidentally, Saitama is walking home and comes across the monster. Realizing he forgot to buy kombu stock, he faces a dilemma. At the same time, a giant meteor changes its trajectory, heading straight for City Z. When the Hero Association calls in Genos, only Bang responds. Bang briefs Genos on the situation, but before Genos can utilize his new upgrades, Metal Knight sends one of his drones for a field test, which proves ineffective against the meteor. Genos starts overthinking, but Bang helps calm him down. Genos gathers all his power for one final attack, but it fails to make an impact. Just then, Saitama appears, refusing to let his city be destroyed. He punches straight through the meteor, shattering it into smaller pieces that rain down on the city, causing significant devastation. Thankfully, no lives are lost. After these events, Saitama's rank skyrockets from 342 to C-class rank 5, despite accomplishing what two S-class heroes couldn't. Saitama goes out on patrol but is confronted by Tank Top Tiger and another hero wearing a tank top. They try to turn the citizens against Saitama, blaming him for the city's destruction and accusing him of cheating in the rankings. Saitama becomes angry and shouts at the crowd, who remain oblivious to the fact that they wouldn't be standing there without his intervention. Saitama emphasizes that he doesn't seek admiration, he does what he does because he wants to. Genos steps in to calm him down before the situation escalates further. The Seafolk announce their invasion of the surface, and Mumen Rider rushes to the scene but arrives too late. Fortunately, Saitama happens to be passing by and has already taken care of the situation in City J. A class hero Stinger manages to defeat some of the emerging Seafolk while Saitama watches the reports of the incident. Suddenly, the powerful Seafolk King appears and effortlessly defeats Stinger. Janos, Saitama, and Mumen Rider head towards the scene. Lightning Max contemplates whether to intervene, but before he can decide, the Sea King appears behind him and takes him out with a single strike. Meanwhile, two escaped convicts, Puri Prisoner and Sonic, encounter the Sea King. Initially, the Sea King struggles against Puri Prisoner's strength, but as it starts to rain, the Sea King becomes faster and stronger. Mumen Rider notices a lost Saitama searching for Genos and offers him a ride. Sonic manages to escape with his life but loses his clothes in the process. He advises Genos not to bother running past Saitama during his retreat. Saitama jumps off the bike, wondering who the naked guy was. He discovers Mumen Rider's dropped phone. Just then, the Hero Association contacts Genos, who faces off against the Sea King. However, the Sea King tears off Genos' arm while he tries to evacuate the stadium. Genos is ultimately defeated while attempting to save a little girl. But fear not, Mumen Rider arrives on the scene, refusing to give up. He delivers an inspiring speech that resonates with the crowd, earning cheers of support. Saitama catches Mumen Rider just in time before the Sea King can kill him, interrupting the villain's monologue. Hugh Ball winds up and delivers a devastating blow, completely annihilating the King of the Deep with a single punch, bringing an end to both him and the fight. Sonic returns, fully clothed, but a few seconds too late. Believing that the monster has already left, Genos and Saitama return home. They receive a mixture of fan mail, hate mail, and one fan letter in Saitama's case. This prompts a flashback to the aftermath of the battle, where Saitama confronts a disrespectful crowd member and jokingly admits to stealing credit from other heroes, making them appreciate the fallen heroes even more. Shortly afterward, a third letter arrives from the Hero Association, promoting Saitama to C-Class Rank 1 and inviting him to a meeting to determine whether he should move up to B-Class. There, they discuss the skepticism surrounding Saitama's abilities, despite his exceptional test scores. As Saitama heads back home, he stops to grab something to eat, where he unexpectedly runs into Mumen Rider. Mumen Rider offers to buy him a drink as a way to express his gratitude. Unable to fully convey his appreciation in his thank you letter at Bang's dojo, Mumen Rider informs Genos and Saitama that one of Bang's students went rogue and defeated all of his top disciples. Soon after, someone from the Hero Association arrives, claiming there's an emergency meeting for all S-Class heroes. Saitama decides to tag along since he has nothing better to do. Madame Shibubawa, a seer who predicted monster attacks, has passed away. In her final moments, she predicted that the Earth is in grave danger within the next 6 months. Suddenly, the headquarters of the Hero Association comes under attack as a colossal alien spaceship appears in the sky, decimating city while Genos scans the area. Saitama effortlessly bursts through the ceiling, boarding the ship with ease, leaving the S-Class heroes to confront the aliens on the ground. One of the aliens, Jeryugen Shoop, panics, while Saitama mindlessly barrels through the ship, destroying everything in his path. The heroes fighting the alien struggle as physical attacks prove ineffective until Metal Bat discovers and destroys a blue marble, resulting in the death of one of the aliens' heads. Saitama receives a telepathic message instructing him to leave, with the alien claiming he's lost. However, Saitama disregards the alien's directive and continues his rampage, smashing through a door and eventually finding the telepathic alien. The telepath tries to intimidate Saitama with telekinesis, but Saitama dismisses it as a waste of time, effortlessly tossing a pebble straight through the alien's head. The ship's gunner awaits confirmation to fire, but S-Class hero Tornado intervenes, redirecting the barrage back toward the ship. Mumen Rider saves survivors in City A, inspiring other low-ranking heroes to join his cause. Bang manages to destroy another head of Melzargard, leaving only one head remaining. This provokes an attack that sends Bang hurtling through multiple buildings. Meanwhile, back on the ship, Saitama smashes through the door leading to the alien leader's quarters. The leader recognizes Saitama as the strongest warrior on the planet, possessing seemingly limitless energy. Before their battle commences, the alien leader, Burroughs, wishes to exchange names out of respect, revealing himself as the leader of the Dark Matter Gang and the self-proclaimed dominator of the universe. Saitama begins to introduce himself as a hero for fun but quickly corrects himself, referring to himself as a professional hero, saving himself from potential embarrassment. After becoming bored with his own immense power, Burroughs encountered an alien seer who predicted that he would find someone worthy of fighting. Saitama, unimpressed, immediately punches Burroughs, shattering his armor and revealing his unimaginable power. Saitama effortlessly keeps up with Burroughs, even punching off his arm. Tornado unleashes her telekinetic attacks on the ship, while Drive Knight warns Genos that Metal Knight cannot be trusted as an ally. Bang, who was seemingly defeated, emerges unscathed and destroys the final head of Melzargard. Burroughs continues his relentless assault on Saitama, but the hero remains completely unfazed by everything Burroughs says and does. Burroughs possesses powerful regenerative abilities, but Saitama interrupts his villainous monologue and delivers a powerful knee strike, sending him flying to the moon. After surveying the moon, Saitama jumps back to Earth, impressing himself. It's time to end the battle. Saitama finally unleashes one of his most powerful moves, the consecutive normal punches. However, it only provokes Burroughs to use his ultimate move, forcing Saitama to counter with his own ultimate move, the Serious Punch. The punch sends Burroughs flying around the world, leaving him completely baffled by his defeat. Sweet Mask arrives on the scene, furious about the outcome of the battle, and loses his composure while berating the S-Class heroes. Meanwhile, Metal Knight sends a drone to collect alien technology for his own purposes. Genos wonders where his master is as Saitama punches his way out of the ship. They casually ignore the furious Tornado and engage in a casual conversation about Saitama's victory over Burroughs, even though Cydia was obliterated. The Hero Association rebuilds using salvaged parts from the ship and invites a class and S-Class heroes to reside in the new headquarters. Sometime later, Saitama confronts Pluton, the king of the underworld, only to become frustrated that he's back to defeating everything with just one punch. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more anime videos.